Yes, welcome to our webinar of Stika Ukraina. Today it is 15th of October 2024. This is our Stika Ukraina webinar. And it's about regenerative agriculture and with the focus today on cover crops. First, my colleague is going to tell something about the demonstration plot of Stika Ukraine near Kiev. And then Geert Elzers from Van Dintersemo will tell something about cover crops, company who joined our Stika Ukraina initiative last summer. And we have sown some of his varieties at the demo plot in Kiev. Since 2023, 16 companies have joined Stika Ukraina from the Netherlands, mainly working in the horticultural sector. And the idea was, if the men cannot come to Europe to get acknowledged with new developments and technologies, then we have to bring this knowledge to Ukraine. And this is what we are doing through the demo plot near Kiev and these webinars. The webinar will be recorded, so if you want to see something back, then please visit our website. And if you have questions during this webinar, then please write it in the WhatsApp or maybe wait till the end of the webinar when both speakers have spoken, and then we can ask some questions. Then I'd like to give the word to my colleague, Vasily Riabi, please.
Загрузилось, чекаю. Видно моя слайда? Все починаю. Доброго дня, шановні присутні. Я
Hello,
Рябий
dear
Василь,
colleagues.
агроном компанії Розети.
I'm an agronomist of Rosetta
Я
Agro,
зараз поділюся з вами
and I will share with you
презентацію про наше
with a
демо-поле.
presentation about our
Але
demo
спочатку
field.
хочу розповісти
But
вам про
first,
наш
I
проект.
will briefly tell you about our
Спочатку
project.
війни голландські
When the war
компанії
started, the Dutch
об'єднались
companies joined
і утворили
and created a
консорціум,
consortium
який назвали «Стіка
which
Україна».
got the name of Stika Ukraina.
Ось ви бачите ці
Here on the
компанії,
slide, you
які
can see some
об'єдналися
the
і
companies who
створили
joined
цей
us in 2023
консорціум.
and united to this consortium.
Я поділюся з вами
I will
інформацією
share with you with
про
information about our demonstration field, which we have in Ukraine.
року регенеративного землеробства.
And in 2024, we started with regenerative agriculture. In 2022, due to the war, we could get to the field only in the beginning of June, which resulted that we could not do in time all the agro-technical works which were supposed to be done. I mean, we did not finish the pruning. We were lacking behind with the crop protection, and then we had problems with the diseases later on. So it took us some time to recover the crops. And we had to use some chemicals too. We also could not start irrigating in time, which also gave some impact on our fields. Our field is located on near the road of Kiev to Zhytomyr in Makariv district in village Nebelitsa, that's Kiev region. Here you can see our plot from the helicopter. This was taken before the war, because before the war we used to make a lot of field days and joinings on the field for the farmers. Our demo field have following crops. So if we say berry crops, that's blueberry and strawberry and raspberry. Then we have some fruit trees like pears, apples, plums, and cherries, like sweet cherries and sour cherries. Plums and sweet cherries we have on a drapeau system, and we have on a traditional system with a coverage. We also have some sour cherries, and we have, from vegetables, we have asparagus and borscht group vegetables. We also have 8
з
plots
регенеративним землеробством.
for regenerative agriculture under the green manure.
Коли створилася консорціум «Стійка Україна»,
When the Stika Ukraina
ми
consortium
розширили
was
спектр
created,
наших
we expanded
культур.
our
Ми додали
spectrum of the
сунички і
crops.
овочі, бо
We
до
added
війни
strawberries and we added
в
vegetables,
нас
which
їх
we
не
did not grow
було.
before the
Ось
war.
на даному слайді
So on this
видно, як ми
photo,
із
you can
представником
see
фрешфорвардом
here with the
Антоном
representative of Fresh
висаджуємо
Forward,
перші
Anton
ділянки
Dovganyuk.
суниці
We are planting our
2023
first
року.
strawberry plantation in 2023.
На даному слайді ми
Here you can
бачимо
see
на сьогоднішній день
how our
на
field looks
першій
today.
ділянці в нас розташовано
So we have 13
лохина.
plots.
З
On
другої
plot number 1, we have blueberry.
сад.
Then from 2 till 6, on these plots, we have orchard,
2020 року
planted
посадки.
in
На сьомій
2020.
в нас аспарагус.
And then on the plot 7, we have
2017
asparagus planted in
На восьмій ділянці
2017,
в нас
3
також
varieties.
є
On the plot number
лохина
8, it's rather new
2019
plantation
року
of
посадки.
blueberry
Там ми
planted in
проводимо
2019.
сорти.
We do here the
На
variety
9-й
testing.
ділянці
On the plot 9,
минулого
we
року в
have
нас були
green manure.
овочі, а на
Last
даний
year it
час
was a
там
vegetable.
посаджено
It was a vegetable
5
plantation
культур
trials.
зеленого добрива.
And this year we have
На
5
10-й в нас
different
4
variants of green manure.
сорти суниці.
On plot 10, we have we have 4 rows with a strawberry.
3 сорти суниці.
And then we planted this year plot number 11 with the 3 varieties of strawberry. On the plot number 12, we have vegetable trials, and on plot number 13, we have 3 mixes trials for the green manure as well.
І в подальшому ми хочемо
And for the future, we want to expand further to the left, so we'll have block number 14, 15, 16, and so on. We will have 8 plots crop rotation there.
Розширятися буде там 14, 15, 16 і так далі ділянки. Перед початком
Before we started
цього нашого
with our new
ділянки,
plantations
які ми обрали в 24-му році, ми
in 2024, we did the soil examination.
Ми взяли на дослідження ґрунт, зробивши зріз, відібравши зразки ґрунту, провели
We dig a soil down to see the profile of it.
співвідношення ґрунту і бактерій.
We also, in the soil, we also did a biotest where we want to test the combination of fungi and bacteria.
Нас консультував
With the biological life, biolife of the soil, we have been consulted by Marcel de Young, and in the future he will guide us in following up the biology life in our soil.
Зробивши початковий аналіз ґрунту,
After we made the soil test,
субпіщаний бідний,
and we see our soil is quite poor. It's a sandy soil with organic matter of about 1.7%. We decided to apply some organic matter. Of course, it would be very good to apply the cow manure, but it was very difficult to get it. And it's quite expensive in delivery if you find it far away. So we found a solution with using shampoos, which was a nearer distance to transport. So we applied the shampoos to 9 hectares for 0.3 hectares, 9 cubic meters for 0.3 hectares.
Ми вирішили зробити неглибоку культивацію на
We
10-15 сантиметрів.
applied it not too deep in the soil, 10 to 15 centimeters
Тут ми
deep.
можемо також побачити, як ми нарізаємо
And here in the
грядки,
picture, you can also
відкладаємо
see
грядку
how we
під
cut
посадку
ridges
пшениці.
and put the foliar for the strawberry plantation.
На демополі з 2019 року
Our
встановлена
demo field
сучасна система
Since
поливу.
2019 have quite a sophisticated
Вона дає нам змогу
irrigation system installed by a
спостерігати
VGB
за
water
вологістю ґрунту, і
technique.
дистанційно в будь-який
This
час ми маємо змогу
system
почати
allows us to
поливку.
control the moisture quite well
А
because we can
також
also access it on
контролювати
distance.
систему виливу. Правда, в наших
We also can
умовах при
control how much
довготривалих
of
відключеннях
water we
світла,
use, how much fertilizer we
як часто
use,
сталося, спекотні дні часто поливати.
especially now when there is electricity shutdowns. We could not irrigate when we want, so we have to follow when the electricity is available. So this system helps a lot because we can follow on distance when there is electricity and connect it from home. We don't have to be on the field physically to start.
Гектару нової ділянки висіяли моркву, шпинат, селеру.
We
А
also
заздалегідь
have
вирощену розсаду
vegetable
було
plantation on the new fields.
висаджено
Some was sown directly like carrots, and some plants were planted using transplants like bell pepper, like salads, like tomatoes. And vegetables were also with the drip irrigation. We also used the green manure from the company Van Dinter Semo. We planted it in the spring, and because in the spring we had enough moisture, the sprouting was quite well. We also noticed that with the fields with the green manure, we have much less weeds growing. I will show you now which varieties that we have. We have Exito, which is the Avena strigosa. Then we have Quattro, Cordoba, Scala, and Venice. More detailed information about these green manures, our next speaker will share with you. On the plot number 13, we did some trials with the green manure as well from another company, but these were green manure mixtures. And we have to say that because we have to sow this green manure mixes in the end of the summer, the weather was not favorable to this because it was very hot, we had no rains, and we have noticed that in these mixes, not everything has sprouted well. On our demo field, we are using mainly biological crop protection from the BTU Center. But this season, we had some splashes of the diseases. For example, when we started with the strawberry, it was very rainy period in the spring, and we could not fight the fruit rot with the biological crop protection, so we had to apply chemical product switch. And then on the broccoli, we had also a lot of whitefly, which we could not control with biological means. So we also had to apply insecticide, chemical insecticide. Here you can see how we plant and take care of the strawberry in 2024. On the field, we do also trainings every year. At the end of the season, we do trainings on pruning of blueberry and fruit orchards. So this year, we also invite farmers and invite students to join again to our autumn or winter or early spring pruning lessons. Here, you can see some through the season, our yields in different crops. We will be happy to share with you with our experience. We'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Please contact us, and thank you for your attention.
Yes, thank you very much, Vasily. Very nice overview and nice new experiments. So if there are questions indeed, let's maybe ask them at the end when the next speaker has presented his presentation, because maybe he can get some more details of the cover crops which we have sown. Yes, Geert, then the floor is yours.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the invitation. We feel honored to be here and join Stika Ukraina. In this presentation, I'm going to tell you something about our company, Van Dinter Semo, tell you about something about cover crops, and something about regenerative farming. You see in this air photo, this drone photo, I took myself, you see our company. In the front of the photo, you see the greenhouse, and after that, you see the office and our production plant, where we clean seeds and bag seeds and also do the logistical part. My name is Geert Elzes. I'm a product manager at Van Dinte Semo. I'm responsible for marketing and communication. I'm also involved in several projects, mostly cover crop projects. Also involved in developing new products. I'm a technical advisor also for farmers and our distributors of our products, of our seeds, and also responsible for technical presentation and field days. And you can follow me on LinkedIn if you want to. I'm always interested in locations, so I put a map here, and you can see Scheemda, that is the village where Van Dinte Semo is located, and Kiev, and well, you can see it's almost 2,000 kilometers beside the two locations, and it's more than a day drive. So it's always nice to see where we are and to see what the distance is. Well, we have a blue logo. You can see right on the slide on top. Van Dinte Semo Seeds and Services. You can recognize us, yeah, on the blue color. We are located in Scheemda, in the northern part of the Netherlands. We are established in 1914. So we are this year, we had a little bit of a party because we are 110 years well, old. And we are also been taken over this year in January 2024 by Syrians. Syrians is also a seed production company, similar as Van Dinte Semo, but Syrians is 4 times larger than we are. And we are both part of the Terrena Group, a large French corporation. This is a slide you can see what Syrians is doing in Europe. It's yeah, it's four times larger than Van Dinte Semo, and it does more or less the same. We are doing a lot of forage mixtures and grass seeds, almost 5,000 tons, 2,000 tons of alfalfa, lucerne, and 4,500 tons of seeds of cover crops. And we do that in all over the world. And we have quite a, well, large sales and marketing teams to sell all those products in Europe and also outside of Europe. What do we do? Well, Van Dinte Semo is a seed production company. We produce seeds. We do that together with 500 farmers who produce seeds for us. We make also new varieties in several crops I will mention later. So we produce seeds. You can see here also on the pictures. There's a farmer of us who is sowing seeds of grass, of cover crop. Then we have field managers who control the crops and see if there is illness or other things we have to be aware of. So the farmer get a lot of advice to grow the crops and to get well, the highest yields with the best quality. Well, in July we harvest most of the crops. You can see on the right picture. We do a lot of grass seeds. These grass seeds are going directly to Scheemda and will be stored there in wooden boxes. You can see in the picture below. And what we do with the seeds is we store them for a while, and then we're gonna clean the seeds. We can also do some certifications, see if the germination is okay, if the quality is okay, the purity, and if that's all okay and have the highest standard, then we bag those products and they go back to the farmers to sow again. Well, the crops we produce, or the seeds that we produce for the different crops, are grass seeds, forage grasses, and also turf grasses. Besides that, we produce seeds for cover crops, and our main cover crops are oilseed radish, Avena strigosa, and white mustard. And we do in those crops also a lot of breeding. And as mentioned before, all those seeds we produce go back to the farmers to sow, and for, let's say, a dairy farmer or an agricultural farmer who do a lot of crops like potatoes. We are a company. We're not talking just about seeds. We also talk about what the seeds do, because when we talk about cover crops, we talk about crops who are being grow between two cash crops, two main crops, and what we want is that our seeds, our cover crops, give the farmer back a healthy and resilient soil. So we have several products and several things we do to to do that, to get a healthy and resilient soils. So first of all, we have a website, weerbarebodem.nl. That is a Dutch website, but the goal is that we centralized all the research and all the articles of resilient soil and also the combination cover crops and resilient soils. Research is centralized on that website. So advisors and farmers can visit that website and see, well, all the newest information. We are also involved in several research projects. We are a seed production company, but we want to also invest in knowledge. So we're involved in several projects to see what we can do with cover crops. What are the advantages, and what is the right way to sow them, what is the right timing. So we invest a lot of time and energy in that. We're also organizing technical field days and winter presentations for our customers and distributors. So to get all the knowledge we get from those projects to the farmers. We've also collaboration with McCain. McCain is a deep frozen producer, deep frozen potato products like chips and French fries. And we have started in the Netherlands with McCain has started in the Netherlands with a regenerative farming program, and we are involved in that project, and I will tell you a little bit more on that later. We're also busy with cover crops who have nematode resistance. So in the Netherlands, we have very narrow crop rotations. So we have problems with nematodes. that are little animals, little, yeah, quite small animals who are of worms who are give problems in the yield of the cash crops and also give quality problems. So we don't want them. And our cover crops have a resistance to that, to several nematodes. We also have developed a healthy soil guide to give also information on paper about, well, regenerative farming and what cover crops can do to the soil, to a healthy soil. Here you can see a slide of the Weerbare Bodem with all the articles and research and also technical information about nematodes, organic matter, soil structure, soil life. So a brief overview. Sorry. Last year we also did survey under 2,000 large potato farmers in the Netherlands. We asked them how important are cover crops for the soil fertility of your farm. And the farmers could give a value what they think the value is of a cover crops. 1 is, well, no value at all, and a 10 is a very much values crop. So you can see in this graph that most farmers give an 8, a 9, or a 10. So they are saying that cover crops are very important on their farm for a high soil fertility and and healthy soil. We also asked the farmers in the same survey what is the main advantage of why do you grow cover crops? What is the reason you grow cover crops? And well, the main reason of the Dutch farmers, the Dutch potato farmers, is that they grow cover crops because they want to have organic matter into the soil. And because cover crops produce a lot of biomass, they have a lot of organic matter in the soil, and it's very important. Very important for soil fertility and a resilient soil.
Maybe you can also the others tell what the others are, because it's in Dutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the second one is improving soil structure. So because you all have all the roots in the soil, you get also a better structure in the soil. The third one is feeding and activating soil life. I will tell later on a little bit more, but cover crops have also an impact on the soil life. And soil life is very important for the growth of crops. And the other one is to have extra nitrogen into the soil, because when you talk about green manure, you say it's a green crop who gives nutrients to the next crop. So it can especially take over the winter time when there is a lot of rain, a lot of water. You can keep your nitrogen in the biomass and give it to the plants in the next year. And the fourth one is control of nematodes, because I said before we have nematode problems in the Netherlands. So with cover crops you can manage and control those populations. And the last one is suppression of weeds, because you have a quick covering of the soil, you have less problems with weeds. Well, I want to talk also something about regenerative farming. You see here an explanation of regenerative farming. Regenerative agriculture refers to farming practices that restore and enhance the health of soils, ecosystems, and community. And by emphasizing practices like cover cropping, introduced tillage, regenerative agriculture aims to create a resilient and sustainable agricultural system. So that's what regenerative farming is all about. And McCain asked us to also give our input to regenerative farming when we talk about cover crops. What can I do in a regenerative system? So here on this slide, you see the indicators McCain is using for their farmers. This is still a startup, a pilot. They have started in the Netherlands with 80 farmers, and the goal is that in 2030, all the McCain farmers who produce potatoes for McCain are regenerative. So the aim is that all the producers of potatoes will be regenerative. Well, you see here the indicators, and I could also write the blue arrow shows that cover crops have also a role in that indicator. When we talk about armored soils preferable with living plants, that means that it is promoted that the fields are covered by crops. And if you are 90 days covered, you are a beginner, but how more days the soil is covered, how better it is. And cover crops have of course a very big part in this indicator. Well, the next indicator is enhanced crop diversity. So have a crop rotation with several different crops. And also cover crops play a part in that one. If you have a cash crop, a vegetable, then after the vegetable you grow a cover crop, and then in the next year you grow another crop, then you have a lot of diversity. So yeah, that is, cover crops are promoted in this way also. Reduction of pesticides, reduction of chemicals. We need chemicals in potatoes to suppress, let's say, Phytophthora, but there are also soil diseases, and cover crops can also have an impact on that one. When we talk about tagetes, you can use chemicals to fight against nematodes, but you can also do that with a cover crop like tagetes. So it also cover crops can also do something to reduce chemicals. Well, when we talk about there are also some extra indicators: enhanced farm and ecosystem and biodiversity. So that also small natural habitats or natural landscapes of elements are promoted, and also if the winter time you have plants on the field, animals can also can be in that kind of crops, cover crops. So it also will give some extra promotion to biodiversity in several smaller ecosystems. reduced agrochemical impact on optimized water use. So if you have used cover crops, you need less nutrients, let's say nitrogen. You get also more water into the soil because you have more organic matter. Cover crops play also a role in this indicator. And the last one is, I think, the most important one, increasing soil organic matter. Yeah, organic matter is I think, the most important part of the soil. And you want to have a lot of organic matter into the soil. And with cover crops, you produce a lot of biomass and you produce a lot of organic matter. So cover crops are very important in this for this indicator. So here you see, and that's the reason why I showed you these slides, is that cover crops play a big role in regenerative farming. At every aspect, every indicator, cover crops play sometimes a big role, sometimes a smaller role. This is a trial field in Scheenda. We have every year. And as mentioned before, we have also are involved in several projects. And this is a project we did to find out which cover crops produce the most biomass, and because that's the main reason farmers grow cover crops. So we want to know which cover crops is the best one to produce biomass or to produce organic matter. We did it at 3 locations. So 1 year, but we did it at 3 locations in 2022. And here you can see the different cover crops. What I want to emphasize is that Raphane sativus, forage radish, of all-seed radish, and also Avena stricosa are the 2 cover crops who produce the most biomass. Hopefully you have that also seen on your own trial field, demo field, that those crops grow very fast and produce a lot of leaves, shoots, and also a lot of roots. And what you also can see is that legumes like the Trifolium alexandrium and the Physia sativa produce a much less biomass than an Avena stricosa, for example. So you see there is a lot of difference in the different cover crops, and we are focusing on, as Van did the same, a lot to Raphane sativus and Avena stricosa. And one of the reasons is that they produce a lot of biomass. We are also have also a breeding program in cover crops, because varieties matters. And I want to show, that's the goal of this slide. You can see here a graph with 4 varieties. The F is a variety, it's not our variety, so we don't mention the name, but it's a much older variety. And Carabao is our variety of Dentosemo, and it's a much younger variety. And you can see the breeding progress if we talk about producing more biomass. It's more than 4 times more biomass than the first variety. So you can see that also on the picture on the right side of the screen, you can see the Cordoba, and you can see the older variety. You can see the difference in biomass. And what also interesting, I will tell you a little bit more about that the next slide. Cordoba has also nematode resistance in it. Or is also a nematode resistant cover crop. So several nematodes won't be multiplicated when you grow this crop. I want to also tell you something about nematodes, and I think the best way to do that to use the website www.bestforsoil.eu. It's interesting, I think, to visit this website, and you can get information about nematodes and also about soil pathogens. And what is very nice on this website, what also interesting on the website is that you can select the crops you grow in your crop rotation, and then you can also give in your green manure crops, your cover crops, and then you can select several nematodes, and then you can see if there is a risk to have damage of those nematodes. On the next slide, I have here an example. This is the result of what when you give your input, you get this kind of schemes. And what you can see here on the right side, you see, for example, strawberry, onion, asparagus, lettuce, broccoli. And on the horizontal table, you see here different kind of nematodes. I made a selection, otherwise the list will be too long. And you can see on the colors what it means. So if you have a very pink color, then you have serious. You could get serious damage in your strawberry. And when we talk about Melodogene hapla, if you have those nematodes in your soil, you will get well. You can see it here, serious damage in your strawberry. And for example, if you grow onions and you have Pratlethus penetrans, that's another nematode population, you get also a lot of serious damage in onions. And the colors means is the legend of damage, and the dots mean that it will also multiplicate. So you have to be aware of well, your crop rotation, and then see in this, you could see in this table what well, problems could be show up. So this is a nice website to visit and to well, to try out. I think it's free. Yeah, it's free. You can visit it for free. And it's developed in Europe with several universities. Well, for example, if you have problems with Pratlethus penetrans in onyns and also in strawberry, then a good cover crop is Avena stricosa. Avena stricosa is a cereal type of cover crop, but it doesn't multiplicate Pratlethus penetrans. So if you grow this cover crop before onions, for example, then you have you get well less problems than you grow a completely other cover crop who will multiplicate the penetrans nematode. And for example, if you have problems with Melodogeny hapla in strawberries, for example, or lettuce, a good cover crop is oilseed radish. And we have developed a new variety, Granada, who has 3 nematode resistance in it. The beets is nematode, beets resistant in beets is nematode, resistant in chitwoodi and phallax, and resistant in hapla. So a triple resistant oilseed radish. So we say it's very important to be aware of what problems we have in your soil, and you can use the Best for Soil website, but you can also take samples, soil samples, to see what kind of nematodes there are, and then choose the right cover crop. It's all about choose the right crop before your main cash crop. Well, this is almost the last slide. This is just, there is a lot of data, but I just want to show you that cover crops have an impact on the soil life. And with soil life, I mean nematodes, bacteria and fungi. We don't know much about it for several years, and this year we did this research. And what you see here is that every cover crop has a footprint, soil life footprint. So those green dots mean they promoted a bacteria or fungi family, and the red ones are, or orange one, are suppressing bacteria families and fungi. So cover crops select the soil life. That's what they do. And you can see here all on top of the table, you can see the different cover crops like Tagetes, Avenus ricosa, and those also you can see also 2 radish types or varieties. And what's interesting is about the radish type that they have done very strong selection on the soil life. So they promote a lot, but they also suppress a lot of soil life. And that's, you get a very selected soil life. And well, that's interesting. We don't know yet what that means for the health of the soil, or does it suppress illness, soil pathogens, that we have to investigate, to do a lot of research still. But what is interesting is that every cover crop has a footprint, and that footprint is also in the soil for a longer period. So if you grow a cover crop, then this footprint will be in the soil for 9 to 10 months. So it also affects the cash crop. So it's not something you can do with it right away, but it's interesting to do more research to it, and that's what we will do as Van Dinterzemel. Well, I will wrap it up. Hopefully you, with this presentation, you'll see that the Dutch farmers are very enthusiastic about cover crops because of the production of biomass, because of weed suppression, about better soil structure, and control nematodes, and also have a positive effect on the soil life. So yeah, I want to thank you for your interest, and well, if you have questions, you can perhaps ask them. I don't know what the planning is, but well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Attention.
Yeah, Geert, thank you very much for a very interesting presentation. I don't see some questions in the chat yet. Maybe there are other people who want to ask something. If not, then I have a question. And then I'm focusing a bit on our plans. We like to have a bigger scale strawberry production on new fields in Ukraine. So how does it work? We have to sample the soil. We bring it somehow to the Netherlands, maybe some other laboratoria in Europe or so. And then you can give a kind of advice, or how does it work in the Netherlands? With the sampling, with the advice, what kind of cover crop or crop rotation? Can you say something about that?
Yeah, well, that is exactly what you said. That is what we do if a farmer has expect problems, then they and they know before that they had problems, then they go and take a soil sample and take them to the laboratory, and the laboratory will tell them with it analyzes what nematodes are in the soil, and then you can give an advice, as Van Dintensemo or also other companies are involved in advising, give an advice what is the best cover crop.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't have problems, then there are no is there no are there no nematodes into the soil? Well, then you can choose every cover crop you want. But if there are nematodes who are giving problems in the next crop, strawberry in this case, well, then you have to choose smart.
Yeah. And because then there can be different things. If there is a lot of bare land, if you see our demo plot, for example, it is also from very extensive crops before. Then we don't expect a lot of nematodes, but maybe more with weed suppression or so, or things like that. So you try to give a history of the plot and then some soil samples, and then you could already give us advice. Yes, what kind of cover crop we best we can use.
Yeah, that is right. And be also aware that weeds are also hosts for nematodes. So when we talk about bare land, probably you still have their weeds, and there are also multiplication nematodes. So that's not guarantee you don't have problems.
Yeah. So we always have to measure, and there are more unexpected ways how we can get those nematodes. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Especially when you talk about strawberry, that's an expensive crop.
Yeah.
Then it's wise to do some research and do and take a soil sample.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. In the meanwhile, there have come some questions. Maybe Valerie, you can translate it. What is being asked?
Yes, I have some questions here. How do you sow the green manure when it's in the mixes and when the seeds are of different size?
Yeah, that's a good question. We do, when we talk about nematode control, we sow no mixtures because in the mixer you have several components, several crops.
You do or you do not?
We do not. Mm-hmm. No. When we have a nematode problem, we don't sow mixtures because then you have several components, and there's also one or two components who will multiply nematodes. So when there is a nematode problem, we say use straight cover crop. And
No, the question was, which machine do you use to sow mixes when the seeds are of different size?
Yeah. Well, we use several machines for sowing mixtures, and I think one of the important things is to use small batches. If you have a very big tank with, well, let's say 500 or 600 kilogram of seeds, then of course you will have separation of seeds. But if you use small batches, then normally the mixture will be stay intact.
There is another question, Valerie. Oh yeah, he has to translate it first, of course.
Yes, one
Sorry.
second, I'm following.
Yeah.
What is the most optimal period of time for the cover crop through the vegetation season?
Yeah, well, it's difficult for me to say that for the Ukraine because I don't know. It is different from the Netherlands, but well, you first grow your cash crop. That's the way in the Netherlands. That's the way in the Netherlands.
I beg your pardon. You first grow what?
You first grow your cash crop.
What is
crop
catch?
rotation.
What is gas crop?
Your main crop.
Okay.
Like strawberries, for example, or potatoes.
Yeah, and after that, after the harvest, you grow as quickly the cover crop. And it's important, of course, that there is enough moisture to germinate the seeds. So that's the way we do it in the Netherlands. We grow the main crop, then we grow a cover crop, and then in the spring we will sow again our main crop or cash crop.
We have another question. Seeds of what forage crops are produced by your company? What crops for forage do you produce?
Perennial raygrass, tall fescue.
Ryegrass, and what's another one?
Yeah, tall fescue. That's, yeah, I don't know the Latin name. It's a Festuca arendusea.
Also a grass.
It's a grass type. Yeah, yeah. But it is tall fescue has deeper roots. So probably in Ukraine, tall fescue is a good forage crop. And we produce also clovers, white and red clover for as a forage crop.
Not with those beets or tubers under the ground, or no? For forage?
No. We don't grow sugar beets or forage beets.
Forage
type
beets.
Of,
no.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
There is one other question, Valerie. Yeah. Oh, now more questions are coming.
There is a question: the cover crops in the conditions of the drought, when there is not enough moisture.
Yeah. Do they irrigate cover crops in the Netherlands, or do they wait for rains? How does it work?
Yeah, well, in the Netherlands we have normally no shortage of rain, of water. But sometimes farmers irrigate the cover crop. That's it gives also you can also see that farmers put a lot of energy to make the cover crop a success. So they also irrigate.
Okay.
But maybe I will rephrase it. What would you advise with the cover crops if we have a story like in Ukraine? We had a long drought period. We had two last, say July, August. We had no rains at all. What would you advise?
Yeah, well, we also grow Phacelia. Phacelia is a little bit does not need that much water, so I would advise Phacelia. And I think also, yeah, white mustard would be a good one. But you need a little bit of moisture in the soil, otherwise it will be very difficult.
I think I don't see any more questions.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Then we will end. We will thank all the listeners, all the participants who have taken the time to watch this webinar. I like to thank the speakers, Geert Elzes van Dintesemo and Vasily Riabi from Rosetta Agro. And of course, Valery Lyashinsky as a translator. And we will in the future make more webinars, especially with the focus on regenerative agriculture. And I think this one was a very nice one to start with. And if you have any questions, then please mail us or look on the website, Stika Ukraina. And then we will try to answer your questions. Thank you very much. Have a nice week, nice evening. And see you again. Bye. Дякую.